Okay, guys, thanks for joining us. As I was saying, this is a training that I've been wanting to do for a long time because I know that there's so much we can do out there in social media and using the technology to grow our market. Because a lot of us have felt like, gosh, I've talked to everybody, and yeah, I'm still working on meeting people and growing relationships. But how can I branch out and find like whole new audiences out there to talk to? And so that's what our presenters tonight are going to do, as well as just kind of making the most of your presence on the social media sites. So I am going to turn it over first to Francesca Fields, who is a Ruby ambassador on my team, and her team is blowing it up. She is doing all the right stuff. If you don't follow her on Facebook, definitely follow her. She does great personal posts, and she really has studied what works, and she's a great person to follow. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to her.
Hey y'all, sorry I was late. My Chrome browser wasn't working for some reason, but my name is Francesca Fields and I'm a Ruby ambassador with Plexus. I have been doing Plexus for about 2 years now, and I love it. It allows me to be a stay-at-home mom. I've got 2 young kids. I've got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. I think most of y'all know who I am, so I might just be telling you redundant information, but just so you kind of know my journey, I've been doing this for 2 years, and I've really, over the last year, learned how to expand my network so that I never have a cold market. I've always got new people that I start building relationships with that I can either recruit as a customer or as an ambassador. I've recruited 10 ambassadors this month, level 1s. I've been doing this for 2 years. I just feel like constantly expanding your network is very important. So I am going to tell you guys how I do this, and hopefully it can help. The first thing I want to say, and I feel like this is kind of an underlying way to be successful, is you have to remember this all relies on relationships. And so you have to learn how to have relationships and be in a relationship. And I also want to say, if somebody tells you no, continue the relationship. I had a girl tell me no, it's not for me, and then 6 months later came back and she's almost silver. And that's because when she told me no, it did not change at all the way I treated her. I still built that relationship with her, because to me that's really important. Whether I've got friends doing Plexus or not, it's important to me that I continue to build relationships. So I just want to put that out there as kind of an underlying thing to keep in the back of your mind, that none of this is probably going to work very well if you're not being a being good at relationships. Okay, I also want to say to get organized. However you do organization best, mine is pen and paper. I've got I brought this in to show y'all. I've got the Plexus planner that we won in, I think, November. And so I write down, if y'all can see, on each day 5 names. This is who I message. I do it in advance so that when I'm crazy busy, I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2 young kids that like to destroy everything in my house. Like, I have to keep my eyes on them all the time. So yesterday at the park, I took a picture of my calendar so that I could message the people that I had on that day, and I don't have to think about it. I just say, okay, this person, this person, this person. So that's how I get organized. Also, have your friends list written out or on your computer, however you like to do it. I like to write. That's how I learn. It's kind of just how I process things. I know some people prefer an Excel spreadsheet, but here's a tip, and I can post a video on Jen's page after this training. I downloaded my friends list from Facebook onto my computer, put it into an Excel sheet, and then transferred it to paper, because I like to work with paper. Download your friends list. You should reach out to every single person on your friends list at some point in your Plexus career. Do not leave anybody out. Do not think, oh, that person won't want to do it, or that person's not interested. You have no clue. I promise you that. That's one thing I've learned in Plexus is you really cannot leave anybody out. I wish I had mine with me. So anyways, I've got my friends list like I told you. Every time I add somebody new to Facebook, every time somebody accepts my friend request or friend requests me, I literally put their name down at the bottom of my friends list. By the time I get to them, I have spent enough time building a relationship to where just coming out with Plexus isn't going to be awkward. So I have a running friends list that I'm constantly adding to. Okay, so that's kind of just the housekeeping stuff, but and write out your daily mode of operation. Figure out what you want to do during your IPA time, which is income producing activities, however long you have. If it's 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, write that down. Because what I'm going to tell you is going to involve Facebook groups, and part of your DMO, daily mode of operation, is going to need to be getting really involved in these groups. And so it's going to be posting once a day. It's going to be commenting. It's going to be becoming a recognizable name in this group so that people see you and recognize you, and that helps them trust you when they recognize your name. So that's just some more housekeeping stuff. But okay, so down to what I've been doing for the last, I don't know, it's been about 2 years now, but I really kind of figured it out about a year ago. And it was completely accidental. I didn't do this on purpose, but it just kind of like happened and it's worked out, and I've just continued to do it, and it's been very, very, very successful for me. Like I said, I've signed 10 level 1s this month. I got 12 new customers last month, and I think 6 new ambassadors. 90% of this comes from people I've never met in real life. So, and this is how I do that. I join Facebook groups over topics that I relate to. So I told you I'm a stay-at-home mom. My life is kids. My life is young kids. It's connecting with other moms. I post about my kids all the time. 2 things I post about are kids and Plexus. And so I join a ton of mom groups. I find groups where I've got moms who have had babies the same month and year that I've had my kids. And I make tons of friends. I've been in them for about 4 years, way before I started Plexus when I was pregnant with my first daughter. And so I've just made a lot of connections all over the U.S. And I think that's the coolest part too, is that my team is I've got team members all over the U.S. and I think that's awesome. So I join these mom groups and I just become really involved. I post like once a day. I post funny things. I sympathize with people who are having a hard day. I get my name out there. I build relationships. I'm empathetic and I just build relationships. I don't really know what else to say about that, but I get my name recognizable. So if anybody saw my name, they would know who I am. And then after a little while, I start to friend people. So can I get my screen over? What do I do? Share screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Can y'all see it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you guys the last post I did in my group. Where I made over 100 friends in December, which has been really awesome for me lately. Okay, so this is a mom's group, if y'all can see this. I'm talking about this right here. This is a mom's group that I've been in since I was pregnant with my 3-year-old. It's been quite a while, so I've built tons of relationships in this group. I'm well known, I'm trusted, and so in December 14th, y'all can see, I did a post. I started with this one down here. I asked if people were friends with each other on Facebook, because I realized I really wasn't friends with a lot of these people on Facebook. I'd been in this group for like 3 years, and I wasn't really friends with anybody. So I asked them, hey, are y'all friends with each other? Like, what's the protocol on this? And I had 64 comments, just people like, man, I'm friends with a couple of y'all, but not all of y'all. And so then I just did this other post. I said, in response to my last post, if y'all want some more mama friends from this group and you're okay being friended, comment here. And I said, ain't no party like a friending party. 105 comments, y'all. People wanted friends. And so I started friending everybody who said they wanted to be friends. The thing that pops up on Facebook that says, you may know this person, do y'all know what I'm talking about? Tons of people started popping up on that from this group who we had a bunch of mutual friends in common. And so I just started friending everybody. And then over the next few days, I sent everybody that I had friended a message. You can see it right here. I sent it to everybody. Yay, so happy to connect with you, mamas. And people were like, yeah, me too. Like, love having mama friends. Tons of messages like that. And so then what I did after that was I put everybody that I had friended into a separate distribution list on Facebook. If y'all know how to do that, I can explain how to do that on Jen's page. I put them onto a separate distribution list on Facebook so that when I went to Facebook, I could click on that list. And the only thing that would show up in my newsfeed is posts from those moms, because now my goal is to build relationships with them, to comment constantly on their posts. If they post a picture of their kid's birthday party, oh my gosh, that looks like so much fun. Can't wait to have our birthday party. You did a great job. Or if they post something like, man, potty training is living hell. I'm like, yeah, girl, I know, I get it. Like, we're really struggling over here. Just constantly like commenting on their posts. Once again, getting my name out there so that we become friends. And just because we're friends doesn't mean that they're going to want to try Plexus, but it really sets up a good relationship for me to be able to reach out to them. And so about 2 months after that, I don't have like a formula. Like I said, I just work off my Franks list. But about 2 months after that, of really being intentional about building these relationships, I reach out about Plexus. I keep my messages super, super short and sweet. Let me find one from a mom. Okay, so this mom joined my team this month, I think. Hey mama, love seeing pics of your sweet kids. They're so cute. I don't know if you've seen my Plexus post, but I'm doing a special for January. If you're interested at all, I'd love to send you some information. And then they come out, hey, late getting back to you. You know, some people say, well, that was 2 months actually. I just noticed that she did not answer me for 2 months. Okay, so if that gives you any hope. So then she got back and wanted some more information, and ended up joining my team as an ambassador. I think it was this month, obviously, because she didn't answer me until March. And so those are how short and sweet I keep my messages. I'll show you another one. This is just from a mutual friend that, not from a mom's group, but I also just kind of friend mutual friends that come up on my Facebook. That we have a lot of mutual friends in common, and I do the same thing. I'm very intentional. I comment on their posts. I just get to know them, and I don't always message them before I message about Plexus, but I do comment on posts a lot before I reach out to them. And so this is just, hey, pretty lady, sending out some last-minute invites for a Plexus event I'm hosting tonight. It's just info and prizes, no sales. Would you like one? And then we just had lunch a couple weeks ago, and she's very interested in Plexus, and so she answered me that way. Let's see. So obviously not all of you are stay-at-home moms, but you're going to want to find a group that you really relate to, something that you usually post about anyway. So the people from my mom's group aren't going to think it's weird being my friend, because they're going to see me posting a lot about my kids, and that's how we relate to each other. So find something that you just are really passionate about besides Plexus, and join groups. I've got, I'm in a Ruby's thread, and some of them were just talking about how they're in a group about ladies who love to travel. And it's just a ton of ladies who like to travel. And my friend posted something in there the other day of, hey, for those of y'all who like to travel a lot, how do you afford it? This girl had like 500 comments. I mean, it like blew up. And she was like, I'm just trying to weed through this and see who I can relate to friend. And so that's the kind of stuff that you want to do, to where you're pulling in new people all the time. I think I would say that I add probably at least 30 friends to my Facebook page every week. because I send out probably 5-6 friend requests a day, and they usually get people usually accept them. Not always, but they usually do. Let's see. Okay, so I told you about that. And keeping the message super simple. We do monthly Facebook events on my team because I constantly want something that I can invite people to. So y'all saw my Hey Pretty Lady post, like we've got this Facebook event coming up. Like I constantly want something that is non-threatening that I can invite people to learn more about Plexus. So those Facebook events are awesome for that. We do them once a month. And I'm going to talk about something else real quick. Am I okay on time, Jennifer?
Let's see.
I go into a black hole when I talk.
You're
okay.
good.
Okay, so something else that I did that I got an idea from, let me just say this real quick before we move off of this subject. I've dabbled in Instagram. I'm still not very great with Instagram, but I've tried to learn the hashtag thing and post on Instagram, and I've had some success with it, but Jen knows about this because I asked her the other day, but I reached out to this very influential lady on Instagram. She's got an amazing page with like 4,000 plus followers, and she commented on one of my posts a long time ago, and I started following her, and immediately when she commented on my post, I checked out her Instagram page, and I was like, dang, this lady is awesome. So then I just messaged her. This was back in December, and I said, wow, girl, thanks for the comment on my post. Your page is super impressive. Just really like, if you make people feel good, they're going to like you. Just make people feel good. Find something really positive don't lie, but find something really positive about somebody and tell them. People love to hear that stuff. It just makes them feel great about themselves. And so I always try to do that when I can. And I should have showed y'all messages where people have been like, no thanks, not interested. I'm always like, okay, girl, no problem. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Your kids are so cute. And it's like, hey, thanks. So it's just be sweet to people. That's all they want. So anyway, she just said, you're welcome. I love seeing other Christian moms getting it done. I know how it is to have a lot on your plate and still try to carve out time for yourself. And I'm like, yes, girl, you're so right. And you can't see the other stuff, but I messaged her Wednesday. What day is it? Wednesday, I think. And just said, like, your page is she's just, like, ripped. She's got, like, a 10-pack on her stomach. She's crazy. And so I just said, like, hey, girl, you are seriously really impressive. Like, I love your page. Do you take supplements? And we got into a dialogue about Plexus. And she's in California, so she had never even heard of it. But I planted seeds. And so I think she's mulling it over right now. But that's just how I connect. I just pay a compliment. That'll get you really far. Okay, this is the other thing I started doing. I did it, when was it? February, so last month, end of last month. I learned about it from a Diamond. She talked about joining different Facebook garage sale sites all over the US. And so I joined probably about 5. And I got a 7-day sample pack. And on my personal page, you'll see it right here. This is what I posted. I posted a picture of me with the 7-day pack. And I said, ooh, looky what I got, a 7-day trial of Slim. It's a $25 value, and I want to give it away. And so I listed all the things that Slim can help you with. And the way somebody was able to enter this contest was if they tagged a friend and shared the post. And I kept it public. So I had 59 comments. I don't know how many shares I had. I had 30-something shares, I think. So my post ended up in 30 different people's news feeds. I reached 30 people's networks just by this one post. And then they also had to tag a friend. So then it showed up in those friends' news feeds too. And then I used the same picture, and I went on to about 5 different garage sale sites. And I posted the same picture, and all I said was, who wants to try Plexus for free? And I had tons of people just comment, I do. And each person that commented, I would message them and I'd say, accept my friend request, go to my page, find the same picture I posted in the group, and follow the instructions. Good luck. And so I made about 30-something friends just from running this little promotion. And so then they had to share and tag a friend, etc., to get entered into the drawing. So even though only one person won the 7-day trial pack, I just expanded my network by 30-something people. And I'll tell you guys what, and this might just be luck of what happened for me last month, but I had one lady message me during this and say, I've been looking for somebody who sells Plexus. I'd really like to talk to you. Can you call me tomorrow? Called her. She signed up as an ambassador with the double welcome pack. I had another girl who signed up as an ambassador this month, and we had no mutual friends. I think she had found me through somebody sharing this post. She signed up as an ambassador, and she's actually kicking butt. And then I had somebody about a week ago, so almost a month after I did this, contact me and say, hey, I saw your post on the, it was actually the Florida one. I saw your post on the Florida one. I've been looking for somebody local to connect with about Plexus. Can you help me? And she signed up as a preferred customer. And so it really got me out there to a bunch of different people in a bunch of different areas where Plexus really isn't that prevalent. And so I've decided I'm going to try to do this once a month. I mean, it was just a 7-day trial pack, and I got way more business out of it than I spent on it, and I expanded my network by so much. And so how I found these garage sale sites is I just went to my Facebook page, and I did the search bar garage sale sites, and a bunch of different ones popped up. I would go to each one and read the description and make sure that they said like it didn't say no direct sales. So if it didn't say anything about that, I tried to join it. You got to turn off your location services though, or they're going to catch you. Like if I said Richardson, Texas, and I tried to join one in Florida, they'd be like, you're not in Florida. So turn off your location services so that they can't tell where you are. And that's been really helpful. And I think that's all I've got. Let me make sure. Did I miss anything, Jen, that you wanted me to cover?
No, I think that was awesome. That
Okay.
was amazing. And no wonder your business is blowing up. Awesome. Okay. So thank you, Fran. I'm going to hurry up and head on to our other presenters because we still have 3 more and I want to make sure we get them all in. So next, let me unmute Bridget. Hold on, let me find her really fast. And if y'all have questions, you can type them in the chat. So, okay. I'm going to turn it over to Bridget. We're so lucky to have her tonight. She is being very, very generous by presenting for us. She is an Emerald Ambassador on another team. And she and I met each other when we were at the Jewel training. And we just really hit it off. She is super uber smart. She has a professional corporate background as well. She has a PhD in molecular basis of disease, I believe. And she is a total rock star. I think she said she got 15 customers this last month. And I really admired some of the techniques that she was using. Like she'll do a post and say, who's interested in a sample? And like, it just blows up with the line of people saying, oh, I'm interested. So anyway, I asked her if she would just talk to us a little bit tonight about her techniques and strategies that she could share with us. So Bridget, are you there?
Hi guys, thank you for that kind introduction. Francesca, I just want to say I think we are like soul sisters because I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old as well. And I just learned a lot of stuff from you, and you reminded me of some stuff that I used to do and stopped doing, and you are so a diamond in training. Like, oh my gosh, I just love listening to you. So a lot of the things I was going to talk about, Francesca talked about, and I have some other things that I'll add, but really like everything that she talked about, I think it's easy to hear someone So she's got, we have young kids, so it's easy for you to think maybe, well, yeah, you guys have an easy in. You have something to talk about with people. You have a market of people who maybe are interested in Plexus, being stay-at-home moms and all that stuff. And I'll just be honest with you, becoming a stay-at-home mom was really hard for me because I was in the corporate world for a really long time, and I felt the same way about everybody else. I was like, oh, it's really easy for her because she was a teacher and I'm an introvert. Like, how am I going to share Plexus? How am I going to do my thing? Like, how am I going to find my groove and my people? And so many things that Francesca said are true because she's like, compliment people, right? Like, don't lie, but compliment them. Once you can put on that, it's not a mask, but that part of yourself that is just giving and loving, and you're not doing this to get a new customer anymore, or you're not doing this to get a new ambassador anymore, but you're actually doing this because you want to help everybody feel better again and feel like you feel, and you remember how you used to feel, which it sounds like, Francesca, you're definitely there. Like, once you can do that, you will find ways to get rid of excuses and get rid of those fears that hold us all back. Because I was always so scared that, if I kept posting about this and kept making new friends that I didn't know, like, how am I going to friend request these people who don't know me? That's the stuff that held me back. And once I kind of let that go, I quickly moved on to getting to Emerald and got to Emerald. Actually, Jennifer and I became Emerald at the same time. That's how I first recognized her at the Jewel training. I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you so familiar? And I remember her picture being up in the Jewel group the same time mine was. And since then, it's been a journey of like relearning how to run my business and to rebuild it and regrow it in a way that works best, like for me and for my team and for like long term. So getting all that stuff out of the way, I'll just say that last year I added over 2,000 Facebook friends. Similar stuff to what Francesca was talking about. Sorry, I have a cold and I never get sick, so I'm going to have a little water.
Oh, sorry, you're not feeling well.
It's just like I want to talk so bad and I can't talk. But anyways, the biggest thing that I found was adding people. Like, I would find a target market. So I'm a scientist and I have some rock stars on my team that are in the medical field. Like, I have a nurse practitioner who's really good, a lot of nurses. So those are people that I'm kind of comfortable talking to because I'm a science nerd. So I can talk to those people. Maybe for you, it's teachers or like whatever your profession is or your passion is. Like Francesca was saying, it's stay-at-home moms for her. Whatever you're comfortable with, if it's traveling or if it's crafting, whatever it is, find your people and love them hard, right? That's what we always say. So I find those people, those healthcare people that I know I can talk the science part with, and I start to infiltrate their groups. And Jennifer said it last night. She was like, you're like stalking people, but not really stalking people. And I laughed so hard because I say the same thing all the time. I'm like, we don't feel bad about it because you're doing it for the right reasons. You're doing it because you want to help them. That's always the bottom line. And if you have that in your heart, it'll come through. And if you're confident in what you believe in, that will also come through. So for me, I just kind of got on a nurse kick this past year. I don't really know how it happened, but there were a lot of nurses in the town where I went to high school. My family doesn't live there anymore, but my in-laws are from there. It's a small town, but there's a lot of other small surrounding towns. So I just started mutually friending people, like Francesca was saying, and I almost made it like a game. I was like, okay, so I'm looking and I found this person and she's a nurse. She accepted my friend request. So I'm going through her friends and looking to see what mutual friends we have and adding and adding and adding. And like, you can do that by layers and layers and layers. As maybe Francesca, you've realized when you said you've added some people in a mom's group and you have other mutual friends and you're like, oh, how do I know other people that I know through them? Like, we're cold contacts to begin with. So just keep going, and don't be afraid. Who cares? I've had some people message me and be like, who are you? Why do you keep friend requesting me? Get a real job. The insults are there's not that many of them because I send out a lot of messages and most people just ignore me. But some people, you know, they want compliments. Like she said, if you have those people, like if there is a nurse, so sorry. If there is a nurse that I see has tons of friends, at least they'll keep me short tonight. I write her name down. It's in my hot list. I'm going to friend request our mutual friends. And I'm going to talk about things on her page. If she posts a recipe, I'm going to ask her if she's made it. You get the idea, right? Just engaging with her. If she posts about having a terrible cold, for example, and she has a terrible cough, I might eventually then message her and be like, hey, I hope you don't mind me sending you this message, but we have this amazing vitamin, and I literally haven't been sick in like 2.5 years. And before like 3 days ago, that would have been true for me because I never get sick. But you can find ways. And as long as it's about that other person, it's gonna be okay. People will say to me, well, I know that like they're probably gonna know that I'm messaging them about Plexus and it's not gonna feel, you know, genuine to them. Well, that's just fear speaking. As long as you do have it in your heart that you want to help them, it's not a bad thing. So you just have to like push all that junk out of your head, the mindset stuff. That's the only way I got through that threshold of being at about 1,200 points and pushing through to 1,500 was daily affirmations and mindset stuff. Like that stuff is so powerful. So you have to work on yourself in that regard and just know that everything Francesca said is true. And you find your own niche to do that, whatever that niche is. Maybe it's not on the same level. Maybe you're not quite as outgoing or you don't, you know, expand your network quite that fast. But to some extent, like you have to pick it up a notch. This is a numbers game. And if someone's kicking butt and adding more people than you every month, guaranteed they're talking to more people than you. And they have the right mindset about it and they have the right confidence. So there's so much you can do. So many things that Jennifer said the other night about like attraction marketing. She did a call for my group. I was like, heck yeah, like we are on the same page. Like this is the magic. We have finally been doing this long enough now to know how to do it. So let's breathe that into every new person that comes into the group and breathe it back into ourselves. It's that belief. We've got the products that are amazing. We've got the compensation plan. Everything is in place for this company to blow up. We just have to like pick ourselves up and run again. And run like we ran from the very beginning. And if you are brand new, awesome for you because you've got that huge network to tap into. I'll say this one last thing and then I'm going to stop before I have another coughing fit. But, and Jennifer, I think we work with different coaches, but we've been working with these corporate coaches. And one of the biggest things that I've gotten from my coach is 50, 30, 20. 50% of your time that you spend on your Plexus business needs to be spent on your personal business, needs to be spent on recruiting, period. It has to be. You can never drop below that if you want to have a successful business. 30% of your time needs to be spent on new people. Because if you're spending 50% of your time on recruiting, you're going to have 30% of your time at least needing to go into those new people. And you're pouring into those people and remembering what it was like from the beginning and giving them that training, but not overwhelming them. And then 20% of your time is spent on everybody else. It was hard for me to learn that because I'm a micromanager. I'm a control freak. I like things done my way. I'm a perfectionist. And that's definitely what got me to Emerald. I like had my hands in everything and I was like, okay, team, we're doing this together. And it was amazing. We all did it together. But I was like coaching like level 6s and it was insane. Like I was working 70 hours a week and I had a nanny and someone cooking for me. It was stupid. I wasn't living my life the way I wanted to. But what I learned from that is I'm doing it the right way now, and my points don't look the same as they did before, but I've let go. I've let my leaders be leaders, and I'm spending 50% of my time now on personal recruiting, and it's blowing up. Like, my business is growing again, and I have like a new team that I'm starting. So it's exciting. But thank you guys for listening to me. I'm going to mute myself. But you guys have an awesome team. I'm so excited. I've loved literally everything Jennifer said. And Francesca, I love you now too. So I can't wait to hear the rest of you guys.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Okay, I'm going to let you go because I know, I mean, you can stay on, but I have one follow-up question before you mute yourself. And that was, so when you are funding friends and you're building your network that way, are you reaching out at all and saying thanks for accepting my friend request, or trying to message them and stuff like that to get a conversation going, or are you just waiting?
I did do that at the beginning. I go through spurts. It was probably January that I did a huge one. I probably sent out like 300 messages, and it was just introducing myself. Hey, and I say, hey, I saw we had some mutual friends, so I added you. I love making new Facebook friends. A blurb about, I don't know if you see my Plexus post. Obviously, I'm in love with Plexus. It's done A, B, and C. I could be more brief. Francesca, I'm in love with how brief you are because I'm very wordy. And then what I would say is I would offer to send them a free sample. I'm like, I don't know if you've ever tried Plexus before, but I'd love to send you a free sample. I love sharing natural health and wellness products. And if they say yes, they would like a free sample, I make them do something. So if we have an opportunity event coming up, I'll say, oh, great, I'm so excited that you want to hear more about Plexus. All you have to do is go to this opportunity event we have Wednesday night. And don't worry if you can't catch it live, it's going to be recorded. And send me one thing you learned that surprised you about Plexus and 3 health and wellness goals that you have. And 90% of people never message me back again. They're like, oh, I want a free sample. And then I give them something to do and I never hear back again. It used to stress me out. And then I realized, I don't want to chase these people around. Like, A, it's a free sample. B, I don't want to work with people who aren't motivated and don't really want to do this. So I just really screen my people now. I'll send someone even a 3-day sample if they seem, like they're really interested in the products, and they go and they watch an opportunity event and they have so many exciting things to say about it. That's worth it for me. So that's what I used to do that. And now I've been doing these 7-day trial groups and kind of I'm not offering free samples now, but I fill people into these 7-day trial groups, and even prospects get to watch the videos in there and possibly win samples. And that's kind of become a whole life of itself. So I don't really need to do that anymore, but I will send a new person a message and say, I'm sure you've maybe seen my Plexus post. Have you tried the pink drink yet? And just see what they say after a while. But that's pretty much it.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, thank you so much. That was amazing. All right, now we're going to run over to Robin. Let me see if I can find her. There she is, and I need to unmute you. Let's see. All right, I'll find her this way. And don't forget, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I did see we had a question about how to turn off location services. And I know I've seen that in my phone. I don't remember about online, but in my phone, it seems like it was just right up next to the top, like the right-hand side. Does that sound right? Okay. Oh, you know what? I made you host. Hold on. I got to can you give up host, or I'll take it back? That's why I can't unmute her.
Me? Mm-hmm. Am I host?
Yeah, I made you host. Hold on just a sec.
Oh.
Let me go over here.
Or I can unmute someone for you. Let me see. Who is it?
Okay. Yeah, Robin.
Robin.
Reclaim host. Here we go. All right.
There she is. Actually, is Francesca host? I don't know if I'm host.
Here we go. I took it back.
Okay.
And muted Robin. Okay. Thank you, Bridget. All right. So Robin is a senior gold ambassador on our team, and she has a very demanding, high-profile job that keeps her super busy. She's working 60 hours a week and raising her kids and has family and everything, and still finds time for her Plexus business and rocks her Plexus business. And she's always just she's a wealth of information, and I lean on her a lot. She's so smart. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to her because she's been playing around with doing some things that have been successful too that I'm really curious about and want to start tapping into. So you ready, Robin?
Yes. Hey guys, I'm Robin. Like she said, I was gonna try not to wear my granny glasses, but I have a really hard time seeing, so I'm gonna apologize because I know there's a glare off of them. But as Jen said, or might not have said, I've been promoting Plexus for about 2 years now. I think it was 2 years in January. And like most people, I had a lot of attention in the beginning, but over time, I felt like I started to tap out my market. And at some point, we attended a training that, I don't know if it was one that Rachel Rogers hosted or she was just a speaker on, but she talked about Instagram and just other ways to build your network. And that's where I kind of started, was with Instagram, and then it has just kind of exploded into other areas since then. And I am here to tell y'all, if you think that you've gone through your market and there's just nobody else out there, I'm here to tell you that the possibilities are limitless. I've just been so excited about all the new people that I'm making, all the new friends that I'm making, and relationships that I'm building. And just that's what I'm here to talk about, is to give you some ideas. I am in no way, shape, or form a social media expert, but I'm just going to show you some of the stuff that I've done to kind of give you some ideas of what might work for you, or just kind of give you ideas. And I'll chime in on what everybody else has said about building relationships. The one thing that I would say is it's going to require patience. You're not going to build relationships overnight with people, especially if you're constantly adding new people to your friends list. I have definitely noticed that it's just taken time. I've had to be very patient about it. And also to be genuine when you're friending people and you're commenting on their posts and you're building a relationship with them, to be genuine when you start joining these groups and commenting on things. Because I find that, let's be honest, guys, everybody is selling something on Facebook, on Instagram, and people are not stupid. They can see right through you. So my advice would be to just be genuine. And Fran gave some great ideas of ways to just comment on people's posts. Sorry. Now, let me touch on a couple of other, before I talk about the groups that I've joined and talk about Instagram, let me touch on a couple of other areas that I have, that I think people tend to overlook, and one is Pinterest. I spend a lot less time on Pinterest than I think I do anywhere, but I've noticed now that Pinterest will start matching you with people that they notice you have a lot of like pins with. And so I think that's interesting. So it gave me ideas of people to follow. That Pinterest gave me suggestions of people that, have a lot of like interests that I have. And for example, there's a girl that I work with at the courthouse who's not on Instagram. She's not on Facebook, but she has, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get some water because my mouth is getting dry. She has a interior design business, so she's on a Pinterest all the time. So I tend to keep in touch with her a lot more on Pinterest, just because she's not on other social media markets. And so that's something just don't discount. Also LinkedIn. I haven't quite figured out how to maneuver LinkedIn to get people, that I'm meeting on there. People will follow me or like me or however that works, and then send me, maybe I'm a court reporter, so I get a lot of requests from people that are proofreaders or scopists. And they'll send me a message, telling me about their services, and I'll strike up a conversation with them. I was talking to one today, and just out of curiosity, I went to see if I could find her on Facebook, and I did. It's a little too early, I think, to friend her, but I'm going to just keep the conversation going a little bit with her, and then eventually friend her on Facebook. So just know that there's possibilities there too. There was another girl that I worked with years ago when I lived in Memphis for a short time. We were both court reporters at the same firm. Noticed I couldn't find her on Instagram, couldn't find her on Facebook, but I found her on LinkedIn. And so we've been chatting back and forth on LinkedIn. Now, she says that I eventually found her on Facebook and sent her a friend request, but she says that I think it's one of those deals where, you know, she gets in heated discussions with people over political debates and whatnot. She's kind of turned off by Facebook and says that she's only friends with immediate family on Facebook. But at least me and her are talking again, but we're talking through LinkedIn. So just know that's always a possibility as well. But let me touch on some of the Facebook groups that I've joined. And I'm going to share my screen here really quickly with y'all. Put my granny glasses on. And I set up my screen so that I can kind of show you how I found these groups. Okay, can y'all see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you go down here on the left here where it says Explore, click on See More and scroll down. It's over here. Oh, come on. Well, if you click on groups, I think that's going to bring up all the, yep, that's it. Okay, so look here, guys. This is what I just stumbled on one night, just looking for groups to join and ways to expand my market. You'll notice here, they've got it linked by category. So identity and relationships, funny. These are buy and sell groups. These are spiritual and inspirational groups. And I just started, you know, fiddling around in here and looking for groups to join. And I'll show you one that I thought of today. We recently, as many of y'all know, if you were friends with me, we recently got a Labrador Retriever puppy. And so I got the idea, I started using, you know, Lab Love or whatever, stuff like that in my hashtags, and dawned on me that that's another whole market of people that I could connect with because we have something in common. We love labs. And so here's an example of what, there was a section in here of pets that I found that you could click on and just look for all kinds of groups to join. But I noticed there wasn't one, here it is, animals and pets. And I found one today that is for wiener dogs. We have a weenie dog too. And so I joined a group, you know, for people that love weenie dogs. But I couldn't find one for labs. So I went up here to search Facebook and started typing in Labrador Retriever. Click on Labrador Retriever. Okay, so now you see pages and you see photos, but see up here where it says groups? Come on, computer. There we go. Okay, here's a bunch of Labrador Retriever groups that I could join, and I went ahead and sent a couple of requests tonight, and I'm waiting to be accepted to join their group. So that's just kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of how to, even where to go. I've had people ask me that, where do I go to find these groups? I'll tell you, I'm one of those people that I'm on Facebook 99% of the time on my phone. I don't know how to find it on my phone. I don't know that you can find this stuff on your phone, but this is how I found it on Facebook. So as you can see, guys, there are so many groups that you can that you can join. I was trying to go back to this. Where was it? Sorry. I was trying to get back to the groups, but y'all get the idea. You saw that there were the possibilities are limitless. And I got really lucky. I found one called Court Reporters Getting Fit, and that was perfect for me because these are people that do what I do for a living, where we sit all day, we have very stressful jobs, we work a lot, it's hard to find time to fit in fitness. And that group I've had the most success with, obviously because we have a lot in common as far as what we do for a living, but also that we're looking to get more fit. And so I was kind of slow at first. When I eventually got accepted into the group, then I, kind of hung back and just started watching for a while and kind of getting to know everybody. And then eventually I posted something on there, saying thanks for adding me and kind of telling why I was there and what I was looking to do. But now I've gotten to the point where I post in this group every single day. There's not a post that anybody shares that I don't like or comment on. And so I've really started to build a name there where people start to recognize me. And then as I start to build a relationship with these people start, not everybody's going to comment, but those that are regular posters or regular commenters, I eventually just I send them a friend request, and now they're, a friend of mine, and they're going to see my Plexus post. Now, I made the personal decision in this group. I don't post about Plexus. I don't bring up Plexus. I never have. And that, I just feel like you kind of have to know your market. And I watched this group for a while, and I noticed that there was a girl one day on there that posted about some weight loss thing. It was very obvious to everybody that she was in this group just to peddle whatever she was peddling. And I noticed not a single like, not a single comment for the longest time. And then somebody finally did comment, and they basically were kind of mocking her. And so, I had to follow my gut with that, and I was so glad that I did. But now I've eventually sent so many friend requests from this group, and so many of these people now are seeing my Plexus posts. And this one right here, she's pretty much I think she's the girl that started this group. If not, she's the most active on it. And added her to my friends. I was kind of nervous to do it because I was a little bit worried she was going to think I was friending her just because of Plexus. And it's not. She's someone that's a powerhouse in the legal community and the court reporting community. And she is someone that I genuinely wanted to be friends with. So I sent her an honest friend request. But eventually, I think, I'm telling you, a few days later, I posted about Plexus, and she immediately commented on it. And I was like, woo, that was interesting, that she immediately was interested, and now she's joined my team. And it isn't always going to work out that way. Sometimes people are going to follow you and watch you for a while, and that's okay. But just know that my point is that you have to know the group that you're interacting in, and just kind of use your gut about what's going to work. Another one that I've had a lot of success in was a girl that I met on Instagram. She is basically a social media marketer or strategist. I mean, basically we're the people that she's trying to get our business. And I don't remember exactly how it happened, but at some point she sent me a friend request or sent me a message and asked if I would like to join her Facebook group where she gives tips about social media and whatnot. And that's been huge because, she has a few rules about not constantly, selling your products or whatever on her page. I think she wants you to do it once a week and no more, that kind of thing. And she'll run contests and whatnot. And she ran one recently about, whoever had the most interaction in the group that week would get to post their business information, get to pin it to the group for a week. And so she chose me one week, and that was awesome. Gave me a chance to really highlight my business. But I'm constantly, maybe not constantly, if someone's posting about a product that I'm not interested in, I don't comment. But if it's something that I'm genuinely interested in, I had one recently post something about, it was a skincare product. I commented saying, well, what is this? And she sent me a private message on Facebook and said, here's my website. And I'm like, do you have a Facebook group that maybe you have, where you educate people about your products? And she said, yeah, I'll add you to it. And so now I'm on her Facebook group for her product, and I can genuinely learn about her product a little bit easier that way. For me, that's easier than thumbing through somebody's website. And so we've been getting to know each other, and I've sent her a friend request, and now she's seeing my posts as well. So you get the idea that just when you join these groups, just kind of sit back and watch how other people are, interacting in the group, and just start interacting, but just be genuine when you're commenting. And eventually you'll know when it's right. Like Fran says, I don't have a formula. I just kind of know in my gut, if I feel like I'm really, connecting with this person, then I'll send them a friend request. And then, that way, just like everybody says, if you see them in your newsfeed and they're complaining about, needing to lose weight, or maybe they struggle with diabetes or whatever, well, there's your open door to private message them and tell them about Plexus. But to give you an idea about some of the other groups that I've joined, like my mother was big into bird watching. And so I found a group called Birds of Texas. Well, interesting, when you find these groups, you'll notice that it'll tell you which of your friends are in those groups. Well, lo and behold, one of my chicken listers is in this group. Well, how perfect is that? Every time she comments on a post, I get notified of it, and vice versa. If I comment and like on a post, she gets notified of it. So there's another one I joined called the Shooting Sisterhood, for women that carry handguns. There's another one called Denton Moms and Crumb Moms. So these are women in my area that are mothers, a lot like what Francesca does. There's another one I'm part of called Kirby Kids. So the town I grew up in is a suburb of San Antonio called Kirby, and someone created a group for Kirby Kids, people that I grew up with. well, that, it's a great place to go and look at the members and go, oh my gosh, I forgot about that person. They live down the street from me, and you can send them a friend request. I'm in another group for my graduating class. That was another big one for me, to go in there and go through the members list and remind myself, oh my gosh, I forgot about this person and I'm not friends with them already on Facebook. So I sent them a friend request. And here's the other thought that I had. If you don't have some of these groups to join, if you don't have a group like I have, like Kirby Kids or the one for my graduating class, create your own. That's a great idea. And start adding your friends, and then they can start adding their friends. So you just got to think out of the box about how to expand your network and meet new people and make new friends. I'll touch on something else too really quickly that I learned actually from Fran. And I definitely do the whole, where Facebook shows you people you may know. But one thing I hadn't done was friend people that I didn't know, complete strangers, that basically friends of friends, people that I had a lot of common friends with. Y'all, oh my gosh, I had a little bit of downtime in between hearings the other day, and so I was, scrolling through my phone, and I decided I'm just gonna step out, and do this. It made me very nervous to do it, because I thought all these people were gonna think, why is she sending me a friend request? I don't know this chick. Y'all, I don't know how many I sent, but I just kept sending requests. Over 50 people in one day accepted my friend request. Not a single person said, who the heck are you and why are you friending me? But these were all people that we had a lot of friends in common. So what I did, because what I hate is I hate seeing people in my newsfeed and go, oh my God, how do I know them? Why am I friends with this person? Is it someone in Plexus or is it someone else? So what I did is I'll create when they accept my request, then I do a screenshot of their Facebook profile. And then I have folders on my phone for photos, and I created one called Friends of Friends. And so then I just file that photo in that Friends of Friends folder on my phone. And then when I get a chance later, then I have a handwritten list, and I add them to that list, put their name, and then put beside them, why do I know them? They're friends of friends because we went to high school together, or they're friends of friends because they're a court reporter in my community, or just whatever the case may be. So that'll help me remind myself, okay, why am I friends with this person? How do I actually know them, or somewhat know them? You get the idea. So again, to touch on what Francesca said, yes, be organized. And the other thing that I do that I wanted to show y'all is what Fran talked about with the distribution list. I'm big about doing that too. As soon as someone accepts a friend request of mine, a non-Plexus person that is, not even just the friends of friends, just people in general that I'm friending that I know, lost touch with or whatever. I have another folder for them, because I'm usually on the go and don't have time to do it right that second. When they accept my friend request, screenshot of their Facebook profile, put them in a folder. It's called, add these people to your distribution list. And again, it looks a little different on your phone than it does on Facebook here, but you click over here on the left. On your phone, on the right-hand side, bottom right-hand side, where you've got the 3 little arrows on Facebook, that's where I click on mine on my phone. And when you go to, it's basically more. Well, then when you go through that list, it's called, I think it's called feeds or news feeds. That's where I can find my distribution list on my phone, but on my computer, it is, I don't think it's, no, it was friends list. That's what it was. Let me go back to it. Friends list. Okay, so I have a bunch of distribution lists, and I personally don't use these I don't post to different friends lists. I use them to see their feed, to see them in my feed. And so I created one here called non-Plexus peeps. Okay, so when someone accepts a friend request, then when again, 99% of the time I'm on my phone, not on the computer. So when I am on the computer, I go to that folder I created on my phone, and I go to here, add friends to this list, and I add everybody that's accepted my friend request here. And so now when I have a little downtime and whatnot, I can pull up this feed only. So these are not Plexus people. These are people that are in my friends list that are potential customers, people that I, hopefully want to eventually, message about Plexus, or I want them to see my, my posts. And so now I've got them in this feed, and I can go through here and comment on posts. Again, be genuine, be honest, comment on their posts and, build relationships with them. I just ran across one that I saw on here that I went to high school with, and I've been, she's been kind of on my chicken list for a long time. So I've been really trying to connect with her and comment more on her posts and whatnot. And me and her were private messaging about something one night, and it dawned on me, she's big into fitness. And I intentionally posted, it was one about the Hodges, about how Plexus is great for people that are fit and people that are workout, that is not just some weight loss product. And it's not a coincidence, y'all, that as I'm literally 5 minutes after I'm messaging with her, I post that. And then I know she sees it, because then a few minutes later, she messages me and she's like, and I've never once brought up Plexus to her. She messages me and says, okay, you have my attention now. Tell me how this Plexus thing works. So just know, when you're private messaging with people, they're more likely to see your post in their feed. When you're commenting, everybody knows this, when you're liking and commenting on their post, that's true as well. But don't forget, when you're private messaging with them, and it doesn't even have to be about Plexus, but just building a relationship with them and chatting with them, then now they're more likely to see your Plexus post when you post them. Okay, so you saw the distribution. The other thing I use is follow first. That's another feature that I love, especially chicken listers, people that are really high on my potentials list. I use the follow first feature, and it will only let you do so many, so you can't, have too many. And let me see if I can pull someone up really quick. Go to my friends here. And obviously I have people that, my runners, people that I do business with. This is Terry. She's one of my level 1. She's my big rock star. Obviously I want Terry's post to pop up first in my feed. So you see I've got her see first. I do this the same with people that are on my hot potentials list, people that I really am wanting on my team, or they've showed some interest in Plexus or whatever the case may be. You can go here and click see first. And I forget how many it will let you do, but it's a limited number. So I'm constantly changing that. Sometimes I'm taking people off my list and adding new people to it. So that's big. I want those people to show up in my feed first, always. Okay, I'm trying to hurry. I'm sorry if I'm going over too much. Instagram, let me touch on Instagram. I pulled it up on my computer, although it doesn't look the same, y'all, on your computer as it does on your phone. And I think you have you're limited about how you can, I have just found that I can hardly do anything on Instagram on the computer. I can do a lot more via my app. I just know that what you can do here is limited. So I suggest you get the app and you do it that way. But you'll notice, if you saw my Facebook feed, it is very similar. I've got the same picture in there. I've got the same little bio. A tip I learned from a social media strategist was, I used to have here Plexus Ambassador, and used to have my website, and to each his own. Everybody's got their own way of doing business. But at some point I changed that, and I took off any mention of Plexus, and I changed it to Wellness Ambassador. And I did the same on my Facebook page, because one thing that I heard someone speak on is to create curiosity about what you do. And so I chose to not, advertise it that I'm a Plexus ambassador. Obviously, when you go to my Facebook page, you see that as the first thing that pops up on my work history. So it's not a big secret, but on Instagram in particular, I kind of wanted to be a little bit more, create more curiosity about it. But as you can see, you don't have to scroll far to see that I'm posting about Plexus. Now, I know I've heard some people say that they use Instagram to talk more about their lifestyle. And I know I've heard Celeste say that and Roz say that. So they post more about when they're traveling and the fun stuff that they do related to Plexus. But, and again, that's a personal choice for me. Really, I'm posting the exact same stuff on Instagram that I am on Facebook, with the exception is, obviously on Instagram, it's about pictures. On Facebook, you might sometimes just type something. With the caveat that on my Facebook page, I post about my family and I post pictures of my kids, but on Instagram, I do not, because I chose to make my Instagram profile public, and it's just a personal choice. I don't want, everybody in the world to have access and see pictures of my kids, but that's my personal choice. Even on my Facebook page, all my posts are public except for the ones that have pictures of my kids. But we heard that tip from Rachel Rogers from a training we saw with her, where she talked about how if you have your Instagram page set to public, then people can find you easier that way through hashtag searches. And I find that to be very true. I get followed and get likes from all kinds of random people, and I know they're finding me from my hashtags. And I've noticed too that Instagram, do not discount it. There are a lot, especially the younger crowd, they're much more into Instagram than they are Facebook. But even people my own age, I have some friends that are never on Facebook, but I see them on Instagram all the time. So if you're not utilizing this, I highly encourage you to, because that's another whole, avenue of ways to connect with people and to meet new people. Sorry, I'm kind of going through all this, trying to make sure I'm hurrying, but giving you all the information I wanted to give you. If you don't know how to, it was hard at first when I started posting on Instagram to figure out what hashtags to use. As a matter of fact, I wonder if you click on the picture, if you can see, yeah, you can see the words. This was just a funny one I did tonight of my hideous glamour shot from years ago. And it comes naturally to me now. It was hard at first to think of hashtags. But if you have trouble with that, Rachel Rogers told us about one called Hash Me. And I pulled it up here on my phone. I don't know how well y'all will be able to see it. Tell me if y'all can see that. But it's right here in the middle, Hash Me. That's the picture of it. I don't know if y'all can see it. But just search for it. It's Hash Me. And it'll give you ideas of hashtags you can use. You just click on that and then type in an idea. Maybe it be weight loss or just whatever the case may be. And it'll give you some hashtag ideas. What I did specifically in the beginning was I have a lot of notes on a note app on my phone that I use a lot. And I created one called Hashtag Ideas. So when I forget and I can't think straight, then I just go to that note app and to refresh my memory and give me ideas of hashtag ideas. Like, for example, if I'm, one that I like to use a lot, it'll just be hashtag blood sugar, hashtag gut health, hashtag inflammation, hashtag balance, chromium, probiotic, magnesium, aloe, methylated, omega, protein, pain relief, plant-based, natural. When I'm posting about the products, a lot of times I'll include those. If I'm posting about the business, ones I might use would be, healthy health and wellness, healthy lifestyle. These are some that I use a lot. Healthy from the inside out, better because of Plexus, wellness ambassador, mompreneur, court reporter. Some other ideas would be business owner, boss babe, hope dealer, work from home, working mom, success, inspire. You get the idea. And I can just go and copy these and just, onto my Instagram post or my Facebook post, and I'm not having to recreate them every time. So that's helped me a lot. And I have absolutely connected with a lot of people in particular that are in my same line of work that I would have never met otherwise, that I met through Instagram by using the Court Reporter hashtag. And even if they found me, just because of a Court Reporter post, when they click on my page, they're going to see Plexus posts. And when they friend me, they're obviously going to, or they start following me, they're obviously going to start seeing my Plexus posts. And so what I, again, learned from the training with Rachel Rogers is when someone, when I follow someone or they follow me, then I'll send them a private message and say, hey, thanks for the follow. And do the same thing, start commenting on their post, compliment about how you love the content on their page and, blah, blah, blah. And then just start a conversation and start building a relationship with them. It works just like Facebook, y'all. Comment on their posts, like their stuff, private message them, and start building a relationship. I've absolutely met people I would have never in a million years met otherwise, but for Instagram and using that Court Reporter hashtag. Other ideas, again, started to post about our puppy. So I'm using, post the National Puppy Day post. Our dog's name is Tank, so I've been using Daily Dose of Tank on our post. But I might do lab love and whatnot. I'm getting followed a lot now by people that love Labradors or have their own Labrador, pages and whatnot. Again, would have never had these follows, would have never met these people, but for using those hashtags. That's how people will find you. But they won't find you if your page is not public. And again, that's just a personal choice. Let's see. Again, it'll be things that I'm interested in, pet related. I'm going to use those hashtags. I love nature photography, so I will use hashtags related to photography. Just today, I got followed by 2 people that I can tell are nature photographers or photographers. Obviously, health and wellness people I get followed by a lot. But you get the idea. The possibilities are limitless. Like, I'm a big The Walking Dead fan. I'm a big fan. So if I post about them, I'm going to use hashtag TWD or The Walking Dead. And I have people following me that are also big Walking Dead fans. So again, you get the idea. Okay, this is one thing I wanted to touch on too. When you get onto Instagram and your account is public, you're going to get followed a lot by people that are marketing to us, people that want to get our business, to teach us how to use social media better. And that's okay. I met a couple of women that way, and I'm on their Facebook pages today because of that. And I'm networking with other people that are in network marketing or have small businesses. And I'm not having to have that initial hurdle of people that I might have on my potentials list to join me in the business. I don't have that added hurdle of trying to convince them about how awesome network marketing is. A lot of times it gets a bad rap, and you have to kind of get over that hurdle about what it involves. These are people that get it because they're also network marketers, and so they're great potentials. These are people that when they have a lip sense party or there were like 3 I was in this week parties for the Norwex, for the Scentsy candles, the what is the one with the kitchen stuff. Again, they're adding me to their Facebook groups. I'm not buying stuff from these people that I wouldn't be interested in buying otherwise, but I'm in their Facebook groups now. I'm commenting on their stuff. I'm joining their parties. I might even be buying, a product here and there from them. I'm connecting with them. And these are people that are great for me to market to about joining my business, and for me to show them how Plexus is different and why Plexus may be better. There was one today where she was running a contest. For everybody that comments on a post, you get so many, points or tickets, and I think you're going to win something at the end of the party. But she had, one of the, posts was, for everybody that asked me a business question, you're going to get so many, for every question you ask, you're going to get so many points or tickets. Well, this was a perfect opportunity for me to go, do you have to carry inventory? Do you make commission on your own purchases? Do you have to have parties? Blah, blah, blah. And again, she answered, I think, negatively. She has to carry inventory. She has to deliver products. She doesn't make commission on her own products. This was perfect because this is now going to be a great conversation for me to have with her privately about how with Plexus, I don't have to do any of that. And hopefully can get her to join my team. She's definitely on my chicken list. Okay. So again, you're going to get followed by a lot of people that are marketing to us. And one thing that I've learned is that they will like some of your posts and comment on some of your posts. Well, what do you do when someone does that? Then you click on them to see what they're about. And it's just the way things work, y'all. You're going to click on their page and then likely follow them. Well, sometimes that's a ploy. You're getting the notification that they're following you, and then all they have to do is turn around and unfollow you. They're doing that just to get your attention. So just know there are some people out there. You just you'll learn very quickly to weed through those people, to know those are really not legit potential friends or potential customers or ambassadors. They're trying to get your attention. But again, in the beginning, before I knew that, I was connecting with a couple of women because of that. And it worked out great for me because I've now been added to their Facebook pages. And I'm meeting lots of other network marketers that way, which is great. So you just kind of have to use your gut about that. You'll figure out the ones that I call legit people that are following you, or people that are just following you to try to get your business as well. I think that's everything in my notes. Jen, please tell me if you think of anything that I'm leaving out.
So let me just ask really quick as a follow-up. So you are you at some point messaging them about Plexus, or are you just waiting for them to see your posts?
On Instagram or in the groups,
On
or
Instagram.
both, I guess. No, I'm private in Instagram. I'm definitely private messaging when they follow me. I will send them, like I forget I pulled them up so I could give y'all some ideas. I got the ideas from Rachel Rogers when we went to watch the training with her. Let's see, the very first one that I ever sent. I said, "Hi there, I'm reaching out to personally introduce myself and to thank you for following me. I love your Instagram content, so uplifting and inspiring, which is such a breath of fresh air on social media these days." I mean, literally that wording is word for word from Rachel Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
And she was really sweet, and she said, "Hi, thank you. I'm happy to be an inspiration. I love your content as well. I've actually taken a look at your products you offer," because this was back when I had my website on my Instagram page. And she says, "I'll definitely let you know when I'm ready to make my purchase. Have a blessed week." And then I follow it up and said, "You too, girl. Happy to answer any questions you might have." And then I went a little further into it. But some people, it may just be as simple as, when they follow me, say, "Thanks for the, follow. I love your content." At least opening the door and getting to know them. It works just the same as it does on Facebook. When you're friending people on Facebook or they're friending you, you're going to follow, you're going to comment on their post, you're going to like their post, you're going to build a relationship with them. And when you see them comment about something, that opens the door for you to bring up Plexus, or like Fran said, when we have an event going on, those are perfect people that I'm adding to my potentials list that I can send a message and say, "Hey, we've got this event going on. I'd love to, to add you to the group if you're interested," blah, blah, blah. You get the idea.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I know Bridget Ryan she'll start to build that relationship, but then she will just kind of proactively reach out, and she'll actually try to bring people over to Facebook so that then she can voice message them and ask them about Plexus, see if they're interested.
Right. And I don't, I think I follow Bridget Ryan, but I'm pretty sure I liked a post of hers yesterday. But is she one of those that doesn't market Plexus as much on Instagram and post more about her lifestyle on Instagram?
She does more of her lifestyle. She does do some Plexus stuff, but it's mostly her lifestyle.
And see, for me, again, every single thing that I share on Facebook, my Plexus post, I'm also sharing on Instagram. I mean, literally, except for the silly stuff, like when I check in somewhere and whatnot on Facebook. That's stuff obviously you can't share on Instagram. But besides that kind of stuff, that Facebook only kind of stuff, everything I'm sharing is identical. So, again, they're seeing every day, constantly, they're seeing my Plexus post. Oh, let me add one really, really quick thing that has been huge for me as well. Again, to make you think outside the box. A while back, my husband and I joined Camp Gladiator. If you don't know what it is, it's basically an outdoor boot camp. They're all over the place. And you have access to go anywhere you want, as often as you want, blah, blah, blah. What I've loved about that is, and maybe not all of the boot camps, but particularly the ones in my area, at the end of the boot camp, the trainer is taking a picture of everybody at the boot camp, and then she's tagging everybody in it, and she's posting it on Facebook. Well, what that's been huge for me is these people that I'm meeting in this boot camp, as I build a relationship with them at camp, she's tagging them in this post so I can see that, see their Facebook profile when we're all being tagged in the same photo, and eventually I will send them a friend request, and now they're seeing my Plexus posts eventually. What I love about, this Camp Gladiator is that they purposely will team you up with people to work out with, and they purposely team you up with people you are not already friends with. Well, that's great, because every single boot camp I go to, and it's not the same people at every single boot camp. There are different times, different days of the week, different locations. I am constantly meeting new people, constantly adding new friends to my Facebook page that I have that in common with. They're perfect for that, because they get that, they get about fitness, health, and wellness. So they're perfect, to see my Plexus posts and hopefully, grab their attention about it and start building a relationship with them more on Facebook so that I can start reaching out to them. So just know, again, think outside the box. Think of ways that you can, they can be groups not just on Facebook or whatnot. It can just think in person. If you're into, quilting, or you're just whatever the case may be, think of ways that you can expand your market, meet new people, and eventually move that over to social media where they can start seeing your Plexus posts. Or you can, you don't even have to do that. As long as you're talking to people about Plexus and telling people about what you do and what you're passionate about. It doesn't even have to be on social media. It can be in person, as we all know, talking about Plexus, and getting your passion across is much easier in person anyway. So just, again, think outside the box.
Okay, awesome. I love it. I love it. Love it. Y'all, I know that we are going really long, but hopefully, like me, you guys are eating this up. I think that this is one of the best trainings we've ever had, and it just gives so much hope for how much potential is out there. I mean, seriously, it's unbelievable. But I want to hurry up and get to our next presenter, our last one. Thank you so much, Robin. You're amazing. I love you. So our last presenter is Diana Bourgeois, who is a social media expert. So every time one of us says, well, I'm not quite sure, I'm not quite an expert, but I think this. So she's the one who could actually answer our question and tell us yes or no, if it really works that way. But she's got her own company, and she loves to help small businesses really create a presence on social media. And every single time I talk to her, I have an aha moment. And I try to scribble down notes and learn from her, and it's really amazing. There are so many behind the scenes techniques and just little intricate things, knowing how these systems work. Facebook works and Instagram works and their algorithms and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's amazing. I find it fascinating. She unfortunately only has time to share a little bit with us, but we're going to hand it over to her. Let me unmute her. And I'm really excited to hear what she has to say, because I'm not even quite sure, but I know she has amazing tips for us. So let me unmute her. Okay, Diana, are you there?
I am here.
Awesome.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Good, excellent. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm really proud that you used the word logarithm in a sentence correctly. Good for you. So what we'd like to talk about a little bit is Facebook and Instagram, because, you've been talking about that, and these ladies are really on the ball. So I'm excited to be on this call. What also I would like to go ahead and reinforce is what Francesca said. It's about relationships. Even at this level, when we're talking about social media, even when you're online, it is all about building that relationship and making that connection with people. So that's really important, that you are authentic and that you're transparent and that people feel that trust from you, because that's what will bring them back to you every time. What Robin was saying about Pinterest is, of course, in our wheel well, and we want to talk about that, but we'll move on and talk about Facebook and focus on that and Instagram for now. So what we're talking about is the anatomy of a good Facebook post. And I'll tell you a little bit about how I put together Facebook posts for clients, how I manage that. We can talk a little bit about how you find content so that you're not always curating your own content. But what we're talking about here is the way that Facebook sees your post. So we're talking about the length of a post being your average thing of like 80 words. And on Facebook, that's a lot. You want to make sure that when you're putting your stuff together and you're talking about, hey, here's what I'm doing, and here's a picture of me with my pink drink and this kind of thing, that you're not talking so much in your post that people lose interest. Because in our generation of social media and being in that moment of always being connected and understanding what people are doing, there's that too long didn't read moment. They're just so unengaged at that point that they've lost interest. Well, in our business, we call this bots and bodies. That means we're attracting the search engines. At the same time, we're attracting the average person. So we want to do both. And the important part of that is whenever you're using your hashtags and you're using your words, remember that if you get past 80 words, a human being loses focus. If you get past the first 7 to 10 words, then the search engines lose focus. So you're kind of losing on both sides if you're using too much description to talk about what you're doing. They say get to the point and do it fast. And that's a really big part of converting in social media, especially on Facebook and Instagram. Now, your demographics are a little bit different. When you're talking about Instagram, you're talking about maybe an 18 to 30-year-old demographic, whereas on Facebook, it starts a little bit later. It starts about 30 and goes to 60, 65. Pinterest demographic is different in that it is also about 30 to 65, but their disposable income is higher. So there's a tip for you. Think about your person and who you're trying to reach. If you're trying to reach somebody that, just starting out, that's like 30 years old, mom with 2 kids, and you're trying to get her into your program, where do you see her spending most of her time? And so the answer is probably either Facebook, and Instagram, or Pinterest. Twitter is good, as is LinkedIn if you're trying to make personal, professional connections, but they're just not where people are going to live if you want to make that relationship that's going to end in a buy. So when we talk about the anatomy of a post, we're looking at how many words we're putting in. You need to make sure your hashtags are correct. The difference is a lot of people, when they do a post for Facebook, they let it travel over to Instagram, or they put the same thing on Instagram as they put on Facebook. Now, the anatomy is a little different. In Facebook, you actually include your hashtags inside of your comments. So if you're talking about your pink drink, you hashtag that as you go in talking about your Plexus pink drink. Or you can tag Plexus, or you can geolocate, and we'll talk about geolocating a little bit later. But what we're looking at here is all of the ways that you can connect that into a Facebook format. Now, when you take that over into Instagram, it's different. The hashtags go at the end. They go in a very succinct way, so you make your comment and then you put your hashtags at the end. It's okay to integrate them as they go, but mainly they go at the end. You can put them in the first comment. Now, the problem with putting hashtags in Instagram on the first comment is that you could end up with spam. A lot of times with Facebook and with Instagram, that first comment spot, if you take it up and you use nothing but hashtags, then you're likely to get your post ghosted or taken down because it's a spammy post. If you get too many of those on either Facebook or Instagram, realizing that the same company owns both, then they're going to end up pushing your profile ranking down, which means even if you have a lot of people and they're really engaged, they're not going to find you as readily. So when we talk about hashtags and we talk about tagging, which you can use both, you should use both. The important thing is 3 touch points. You want to use relevant hashtags, and you can definitely use HashMe to find relevant hashtags. You can do a search that talks about these hashtags. Like if I want to do a weight loss hashtag and I go straight to Google and ask them what are the best hashtags for Instagram, they'll come up with a list. So you want to make sure that you're engaging those hashtags. And you can also just go into Google and say, for example, weight loss hashtag, and it'll give you a list. You have a really powerful search engine in Instagram that you don't have in Facebook. And that is a search engine box at the top of the screen, and go to there and you type in whatever your hashtag is going to be, and it's going to give you a list of people that are using that hashtag. Those are called trending. So we're going to look at the trendings and see if the first 30, 40 people are using this hashtag. For example, we'll use weight loss. If they're using the hashtag of weight loss, then are they using it in a way that it is beneficial to their post? Would we like to connect with them? Is that a possible person for us to follow and to comment on their stuff? And are they talking about, I need to lose some weight, or are they selling something that does weight loss? So think about it in a more long-term way of understanding. We call this long-tail marketing. So when you're talking about your demographic, for example, and you're talking about, okay, when I visualize who I want as a client, I'm talking about, maybe 30-year-old women. Maybe it's coming up that there's Easter, but then you have bathing suit season behind that. You have weddings behind that. So maybe you're looking at a little younger demographic, 20, 25 years old. They're getting married and need to fit into a wedding dress, and there's a honeymoon coming. So start thinking about this in a bigger thing. It's not just weight loss, oh, I'd like to lose 5 or 10 pounds. It's what are the occasions around what you would use to lose weight? And as you look at that, or whatever your keyword is, if it be fitness or whatever, what are the reasons that you could connect in a more long-tail marketing way? So when we're thinking about this, and we think about the events that are coming up, like we just described weddings or Easter or any holidays in between, we're also thinking about other events that are really important on Facebook and on Instagram. There is a whole calendar you can Google that talks about medical observances. Of course, we think of things like breast cancer and things like that, but almost every month is packed with diabetes awareness, is packed with different kinds of cancer awarenesses, and you should be aware of those because those are very big trending hashtags on Facebook and on Instagram. This will give you the opportunity to use a hashtag that everybody's using and to get your post mixed up in the midst of what's really popular at the time. So I would encourage you to go out and look for those observances as well. An important part of putting together a good post on Facebook and Instagram is doing it at the right time. A lot of people just throw up a post when they're in the middle of doing something and they're thinking, oh, well, this is a good time to post. Realistically, there are set times and days that are best for you to post. On Facebook, your good times are usually between 1 and 4 o'clock. And on Instagram, they're usually from 5 to 6 o'clock because that's when people are doing afternoon breaks or commuting. Their downtimes for both are usually midnight to 8 o'clock. So if you're doing anything in that, you're going to find a dead zone. Now, I can tell you from looking at specific times in different pages that that's not a hard and fast rule. So you need to post maybe once in the morning and once at night. And then once you see that start to fluctuate or you hit a sweet spot, then follow that time. But don't stay stuck in that time, because if we're always posting every day at 7 o'clock in the afternoon, or if Jennifer's is at 9 o'clock at night, if you always post at that time, then you might be missing a really good time at 7 o'clock in the morning and never know that. So try and fluctuate. Go by the hard and fast rule that we're going to do this time because Facebook, and you can look in the insights and it'll tell you what your prime time is, or you can see the response that people have. And you can say, for example, I know that 9 o'clock is my good time, but maybe I'll try 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning and see what that is, because that's a really good time for me. And if I represent my market audience, then that might be a good time for them as well. Geolocation is important. If you're doing something, geolocation is the check-in value or the locational value of being in a certain place. This is important because if I say, for example, I am in Hilton Head, South Carolina, which I am, and other people are in Hilton Head, South Carolina, Facebook is going to automatically geolocate you to what's closest to you. So if somebody's looking for, on a search, they're looking for Plexus and Austin, Texas, then if you're in Austin, Texas, and you sell Plexus, your stuff is going to come up, and it's going to start working into their feed. And once they search it in Google, it'll come up in Facebook as well. You've probably seen those tracker ads, like you'll be looking at a cruise in New York, and all of a sudden on Facebook, you start seeing ads for cruises out of New York. And that's how that works. That geolocation is very important. So include it in your post in Facebook and in Instagram. Tags, we talked about video. Video is vital. And I know everybody about this time rolls their eyes and starts to get a little dizzy. Video is very important. It converts 6 times as higher than any other thing that you do. You can use video on Instagram, you can use video on Facebook, and you can use it on Pinterest. One of my pet peeves is never create something that you only use in one avenue. So when you create that video, use it and use it again. And that doesn't mean, okay, I've used it on all 3 of these channels, I'm done with it. That means use it on all 3 of those channels. Then a week to 10 days later, use it again, because nobody's going to see it 100% the first time. And you have to get in front of them 3 times at least, or more, depending on what social media you're using. So be sure that you're using that video to the most of your ability. If you're going to get on there and talk about, and it's not that hard. It's mostly an internal thing. I think Bridget or Francesca was talking about overcoming that fear of what your mind says to you. Push that aside, turn on the camera, and just talk, because people will love the authenticity of hearing your voice. And when you give them information that they really can use, that's gold. They will come back to you again and again. Another idea is don't go 2 days without posting. If you go 2 days without posting, you fall out of people's feed. So you will be noticing that whenever, for example, if I'm talking to Jen, and I think Robin had made the point that if we're even talking over a private message, that we stay in each other's feed because Facebook sees us as connected. If you go with 2 days without posting, then all of these people that you've been connected with and you've been talking to and building these relationships with, you fall out of their feed because Facebook thinks you're no longer important to them and they're no longer important to you. So what you can do is just stay, even if you're just creating that little content, a tip or something like that, and you're putting it up, make sure that that goes out on a regular basis. Because the last thing you want to do is work really hard to build these relationships only to find out, oh no, now the majority of them are gone just because of an logarithm change in Facebook. You find something that works, do it again. Like I think that Francesca was talking about contests, or Bridget was talking about contests. These are really good things. When you find what works, do it again. Motivation and humor and tips are the top 3 things that work across any industry. Robin made some really good points about the kind of people you connect with. I would encourage you to think of not just, look around in your life and see what you can connect with other people about, be that dogs or sporting events or whatever, because people really do like to make little niches and to cubby themselves. And so be prepared to reach in not just into those groups, but into pages. Find influencers, and influencers are really easy to find. If you're not just looking for people that have like thousands of people in their account, you're looking for people that really participate and talk to you and engage. And when you find those influencers and you start to engage those influencers, as I think Robin had mentioned, then they start to talk back to you and you build that conversation, and it's a partnership, and people see you talking to the important people and they want to talk to you too. So they'll come back and start following you. That's a lot, Jen. What did I miss?
I would have no idea because you know so much. I'm sure that you could go on for days, but that was really interesting. I took a ton of notes. I love that. I did not know if you go over 2 days without posting and you drop in the news feeds.
Yep.
So when you go on vacation,
Definitely.
I guess you need to not really totally go on vacation. You need to like get your buffer or Hootsuite or whatever ready.
Exactly. Or schedule your posts inside of Facebook so that they go out every few days. And that's a really nice thing because, if you turn that on inside of Facebook, and if you have a private page, and of course Hootsuite, you can use that pretty cheap and easy. But if you have an actual business page, then Facebook will kick you back reminders and say, by the way, did you know that Easter is coming up and it's about 30 days out? You should start posting Easter stuff now. There's really positive benefits to a page, but I would not suggest that anybody that has a thriving personal page go and just start at the beginning again and start a business page, because that's a lot of heavy lifting at one time. But yeah, there's a lot of investment in if you do have a business page, then you come up in search engines like Facebook immediately in real time feeds into Google. So you can put something up on Facebook and go and find it in Google in about 3 to 5 seconds. So that's a really good benefit, and it geolocates as well. But from the other side, if we're talking about a time frame, yeah, I would say 2 days is really, really pushing it, because especially if you're taking the effort to find all these friends and friending them and following and commenting and all of these things, the last thing you want to happen is for you to go away and them to be like, how did I know you and why are you talking to me, and have to build that relationship again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. That was amazing. Okay, I'm going to just really fast open it up if anyone else has any questions for either Diana or any of our other speakers. I'll just give us a couple minutes to answer a couple questions if you guys have any. And thanks for hanging in, because I know this went long, which I knew it probably would, but it was so much great content. And I wanted to have it all together so that you guys could hear from different people about how they're using the different strategies. For me, it was helpful to hear it all together in one place so that they could kind of play off of each other. So let's see. Yes, they were amazing speakers. You're right, Michelle. Anyone have any questions? Y'all are all, oh, wait. Yeah, okay. Yes, this was really helpful. Yes, you're right, Cindy, it was. Okay, I'm gonna unmute you guys so that you guys can at least say goodbye to everybody. Okay, you guys are all unmuted, so if you have anything else that you want to just throw out really fast, you can say it now. Otherwise, we were going to go ahead and log off, and I did record it, so I will post it on the team page.
Oh, I did have one more thing, Jen, if you don't mind.
Sure.
The way that because I get so much content when I'm looking online, so I keep a folder on my desktop of content so that I can just like throw content in that folder and go back to it later as I need it. So that might help some people as well.
You were in my room.
That's great. I like that. Okay, Fran had a question. So commenting and messaging on Facebook is how you get linked to people? I think,
Like,
were you talking about Instagram for that?
how you show up on their news feed.
Oh.
Do you know what I'm saying? Linked isn't the right word. My bedtime's like 10. So like, but so I know like liking people's posts isn't going to have you show up more on their news feed, but it's more so commenting on people's posts and messaging them. Is that correct, Diana?
Thing was like, hold on. My lady was
Right. So that's right. So whenever you like, and the order of importance is exactly that: liking, commenting, sharing. So the order of love is if you share their posts, then you're showing all of your people. Now, if you comment on it, you're also showing all of your people as well. So that's a good way as well. But just liking is not particularly going to do anything to help or move you forward.
Did that answer your question, Fran?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Y'all are such troopers for hanging in there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought it was amazing. I took a ton of notes. I will post this video on the team page, and if you guys have any follow-up questions for our speakers, you can just message them to me, and hopefully I can get back to you with those answers. So,
thanks.
I just have one question real quick. Sorry about that. Thanks, Diana, and thanks, Jennifer and everybody. I just wanted to, I like Instagram a lot, but I feel like it's really hard to get comments from my pictures. Like, but I think I did see, and like, does anybody have like any, you know, like a tip or anything that I could use to like, how do I get people to comment on my pictures on Instagram?
Well, Diana, does Instagram work like Facebook in that regard? Where if she is commenting on and liking Instagram posts, are her Instagram posts more likely to pop up in those same people's feeds? Does it work the same?
No, it doesn't work the same. Unfortunately, that's one of the downfalls. But whenever you're on other people's pages, that's why finding influencers on Instagram is so important, because they have so many people that are engaging and following. So leaving that comment, it pulls people back to you. And it's when you follow them, that's the protocol. They will follow you back, as long as we're not talking about those marketers like you were saying that just unfollow as soon as they follow. But real people, the more you engage, you follow, and you like what they're saying, and leave a comment. Leaving that comment is really important, because that will pull them back to your page and engage them, and you'll see your numbers start to grow, and you'll see people start to like your pictures.
That's perfect. I think I did see, one more thing was, I think I saw Francesca, I think it was. She actually put a picture, and then she asked the question. And I saw she had a few comments on her thing. I was like, that's what I want to do with my thing. So definitely I'm going to use both of those tips. That's awesome.
And that's a good point. I mean, I would do that on Facebook as well. Just use the first comment space to ask them a question, because if you ask people their opinion, they're going to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tag as well. So say like Jane Smith, @Jane Smith, what do you think? And like just call her out and she'll come back and answer you.
Like that.
Yeah, and if people don't know this, because I know I've talked to people that don't know this, if I have some just burning Plexus posts that I'm wanting to share that week, For me, I know which days and which times work the best for me, and I save those for that time. But I will strategically post a picture of my kids, and I'm talking specifically about Facebook, or about our new puppy, something that I know is going to get a lot of people commenting on that post. And then strategically, I'm going to share that Plexus post, maybe an hour later. So that Plexus post is now more likely to show up in their feed because we've been commenting back and forth.
I love that.
That's a good point. And as well, because you're all on a team, I mean, watch each other's accounts, comment on each other's accounts so that you can support each other. When you do that, you're creating a ring around each other so that you start to build each other's profiles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our team is very good about doing that, I think. Okay, all right, guys. Is that it? Anyone else have anything else? Are we just going to stay on all night? I'm kidding. I'll let y'all go. All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you guys so much to the presenters and also for you guys hanging in there with us. And I'll let you know what our next training is going to be. But this was amazing. I hope you guys actually tried to implement some of the things. It was so much, but take a chunk of it and just bite it off and try to do some of it. I just was telling Diana today, I heard this phrase that I really loved, which is run fast and break things. Because I know some of you are like me and you feel like you need to have all your ducks in a row and have everything figured out before you actually dip your toe in the water and try to do stuff. But honestly, just jump in and start going for it, and you'll learn as you go. But if you wait till you have all your ducks in a row, you're probably never actually going to do it, which is where I've been on Instagram, and I'm just now trying to figure it out. So I think we just need to jump in and go for it. Right? We'll help each other out. Okay, guys, have a great night. I am going to see some of you guys on Saturday at the training, right? And rest of you, I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Thank you.
Night. Bye.